Instagram. Hello, Facebook. We're just going to get everybody on board here. If you are watching the replay, which is so fun also, so you don't miss out at all, comment below your questions. Because I do look at all your comments. I read your comments. I try to answer them as fast as I can. But yeah, if you have questions throughout the thing, definitely ask them in the comments below if you're watching the replay. So let me just get this on the recipe page so we can all be cooking together. That's why I started like 30 seconds early, just so I could get everybody in on this together. You know, it's funny. The one time like you have your computer and you're trying to do stuff on it, then it wants to like freeze and be really slow. But that's okay. Okay, let me share to a group. So Thanksgiving is coming. It is next week. Hello from Ontario. Hello Lois. Hello Christy. Okay, so we shared it. I'm trying it a little different instead of doing a watch party because I think it's kind of hard to watch the watch party later. So then this makes it kind of easier so it kind of pops up. So I shared it on there. Okay, we're all together. Hello Brenda. Hello Megan. Hello Kathy. All right, we got it shared. So let's get cooking. So we're going to start out with our green bean crock-pot casserole soup. So I know some of you had asked on the recipe page, does anybody have a recipe for green bean casserole? Well, I'm like, yes, I do. I had made a green bean casserole before, and that was really yummy. But then I just recently, this week, I made a green bean casserole soup, and oh, so good. You even get the crispy onion thing on top, because that's the best part of the casserole, right, is the crispy onions on top. Nicole, hi Natalie, what's on your shirt? It says thankful for today. And I know it's probably backwards because I have my phone on the selfie thing so I can see all your comments. So it's backwards, but it says thankful for today. I thought it was perfect for our Thanksgiving Day theme of food. So we're going to start out with the crumbly stuff that's going to go on top of our soup, which is the best. So we're going to start with that so then it can be baking while we make our soup. Now when I made this soup, I made it in a crock pot first, but you can make it on the stovetop also. Nicole, aw, thank you, Nicole. I kind of liked it too. I saw it and I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. It's sparkly and it's thankful and it's Thanksgiving-ish. So I'm going to preheat my oven to 375 just on a bake setting because this is a convection oven, so I have that also. So, oops, that is the timer. That doesn't help. So bake. So we're going to start off at 375. And then you can either use a baking sheet pan, like a cookie sheet, or you could use a small baking dish. Oh, Annette. Hello, Annette. Otherwise, I have this small, just personal size pan pizza pan. And this works for me. Of course, got it at Aldi's. They had it there for a week. Now it's not there anymore. But these are kind of fun. Our chickpea mixture probably isn't going to cover the whole bottom, but it might, because it's going to be about the same as if you would make a chickpea pizza recipe, and that fills one whole thing. Mary, thanks for all the inspiration. Aw, Mary, you're so sweet. Thank you. I thank you guys. I mean, you guys are so fun. You keep me going. You keep me inspired, ooh, what can we make next with all your questions and all this fun stuff. It is so fun to be together. Kathy! Hi, Natalie. Waiting for a new grandbaby to get here, so hoping to watch you will keep me calm. She can do this. Grandbabies are coming. Oh, it's so exciting! Is she in, the delivery room right now, just kind of waiting for things to get going? Oh, my goodness. How exciting. Hi, Amy. Thanks for joining. So exciting, Kathy. Congratulations, Grandma. Oh, those pictures you posted were so cute. You have the cutest daughter and the cutest grandbabies. Love it. So fun. All right, so we're going to start off with 3 ounces chickpeas. Now, I already have these blended up because I tell you this every time, but it's a lifesaver, time saver, and it's just the best. You blend up just like a whole can. Sometimes I do too. She's pushing! Oh my gosh! Well, this is exciting! Ah! So exciting! New grandbaby, almost here. Okay, now you have to keep me calm. This is so exciting. Ah! Okay, she's going to do great. Father, we pray that Kathy's daughter, that she's going to have a safe, effective, perfect, healthy baby, that the delivery will be fast and it'll just be pain-free and it'll be an easy delivery and that this baby will be a blessing in Jesus' name. Just going to pray for that baby right now. Janice, hi Natalie, you are always so sweet and energetic. Love it. Aw, Janice from Ottawa. Thank you, Janice. Nicole, do you blend in food processor or mixer by hand? Kathy. I use this little baby. You could do a food processor if you're going to do a whole thing. Amy, what are you making? We're making a green bean casserole soup. I use this, and then I just blend everything up. Oh, Kathy, thank you so much. Yes, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be good. Otherwise, you could do it in a food processor, then just scoop everything into a dish. Kathy, you're so sweet. But I use this little baby, and I just blend everything, and I'll put like 2 whole cans. I'll drain the cans. I don't rinse it. I like a little bit of the liquid to be in with the chickpeas, so that's why I don't like rinse it, because it helps with the organic chickpeas because they can tend to be a little dry, and it helps get everything nice and smooshy like this, if you can tell the texture of that. But yeah, so I already blended that, but if I didn't, I would blend this up. So we're going to put 3 ounces in our bowl here. We're going to start off with this. Man, Kathy, you get the best of both worlds. You get to watch cooking as your grandbaby's being delivered right now. Oh, so exciting. Oh, now I'm just so excited. Okay, so we want 3 ounces, not 3.2. Perfect. Then, to make it like crispy fried onions on top, we're going to add an onion to this. Not like a whole onion. That would be a lot, unless it's a very small onion. But it's kind of going to be like a falafel-y texture on top, but we're going to make it a little crispy because we're going to cook it until it's crispy. That's why I turned it up to 375. Every oven's different, so you might have to turn your oven up just a little bit hotter, depending on your oven. Nicole, Kathy, can't wait to see pics. Me too. Yes, when this grandbaby, you better send us some pictures, because, oh, I love babies. So exciting. Okay, so we're going to add 1 ounce of onion to our chickpea mixture. Let me just peel this. So 0 the scale. And this doesn't have to be fancy or diced or anything because we're going to blend this into here. So we want 1 ounce. Now, it will shrink in the cooking process, so I'm going to count this as like ½ an ounce and just take that off of the vegetables that we're going to put in our soup. So we want just 1 ounce. We don't want it too oniony, if there's such a thing. And save this onion because we're going to use this to saute in our soup. Let's see. So we got our... Oh, now we need to add some seasonings to our chickpea mixture before we blend it because it's easier just putting it all in together. Grab a napkin. So we are going to do a ½ teaspoon of each of these. I didn't grab a ½ teaspoon. Let me grab one of those. Okay, so we are going to do garlic powder. I just have my bulk seasonings that I get at my local health food store. So we're going to do a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder. And this is okay if this is really, really, really seasoned because it's just kind of like the garnishing on top. So you want it really flavorful because it's not like your whole soup. So we want ½ teaspoon garlic powder, ½ teaspoon onion powder, you could add more seasonings, or you could add seasonings that are your favorites to this, or you could reduce the seasonings, but I like everything really seasoned in this. Then we're going to do a ½ teaspoon of parsley and basil. So usually with parsley and basil, I just do like a pinch. It comes out to about that. Because these aren't like super picky seasonings where, ooh, that's too much of it or too little. Because these are my favorites. So I'm going to do 2 pinches of basil. Then we're going to do some rosemary. A ½ teaspoon of that also. I have to get some more rosemary, so we're just going to use up all this rosemary. So there's not going to be enough for the soup, but that's okay because the other seasonings in the soup will make it perfect because I just used it all in that. Then we're going to do a little bit of salt. Just a pinch of salt and some pepper. We're going to do a little bit more salt because you kind of want the topping to be a little salty. And then some pepper. Set this to the side. So now we get to do some blending. Now that we added all our seasonings and our onion to this, now we're going to blend this all up. Let me plug in my blender. I got this right on Amazon. It's called an immersion blender, and it came with a food processor attachment, which was kind of fun because this pops off, and then this goes on the food processor. So I got it on Amazon for my birthday one year. As you can tell, I like to cook a lot, so people get me cooking things for my birthday, which is fun. So I'm going to turn it to about medium because this can get a little messy otherwise. Can get stuck in here and then you get big chunks, but it looks pretty good. I think we're good. No huge. It's okay if there are some chunks of onion because it'll kind of be a little bit like onion ring. Annette, Chloe made apple waffles this morning and the chickpea blondies for lunch. She's outside now, otherwise she'd be watching. Oh my goodness, kitchen queen. Can I like rent her to come to my house and cook me things? That is so awesome. You are amazing, Chloe. Oh, I love seeing your pictures and all the stuff you're baking. She inspires me in the kitchen, man, because, I wish I would have known about this way of eating when I was her age. How exciting. Nicole, my immersion blender has only one speed. It's old. I like that one. Yeah, it's kind of nice it changes speeds because sometimes you want to start off a little bit low with some things. And it has a turbo button. I think I've used that like twice. But it's kind of nice. Amy. Natalie, is this any of your cookbooks, the green bean casserole and the apple waffles? No. These are brand new recipes that I'm like, these are so yummy. I have to let you guys in on this. And it's like perfect, like Thanksgiving Day theme. So I'm like, I have to let you in on these recipes early. I do have some like creamy soup recipes that are kind of Thanksgiving Day themed in my cookbook, but nothing with this falafel topping. But you could put this falafel topping like on anything. Marie Rodriguez, what are you making? We are making a green bean crock-pot casserole soup without the crock-pot because that would take too long. With this chickpea onion delicious topping. That's what we're making. So now we're going to take our pan. We're going to just lightly oil it. Now, I guess you could make this chickpea mixture, you could put it in a waffle maker. I can't promise you that it won't crumble to pieces and be really messy, but you're going to crumble it on top anyways. So you could make it in that instead of making it in the oven. But we're going to bake this because it's just easier than chancing it with the waffle maker. Because sometimes the waffle maker will get angry. Will you share the recipes? Yes, I will be posting the recipes, at least one by tonight. I'm not sure about posting 2 yet. It'll depend on how far and how busy my schedule gets, but they will be posted eventually because we're making 2 things today. Okay. So then we're just going to smush our chickpea mixture. We want it nice and thin because we want it to get nice and crispy. Because that's the whole point of this. We want it like crispy fried onions that you usually put on a green bean casserole. It's nice and thin. You know what? It probably will fill up this whole pan. Maybe. It will. This is like the perfect size pan for this. This is an 8-inch personal size pizza pan. I'm going to make sure we get all of our chickpea mixture. No mixture left behind. Okay, so we got all that in there. Marie, sounds awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Marie. I'm excited for it too. I've had this one time. It was so good. All right, so we have our chickpea mixture, our like falafel-y stuff that's going to go on top. So we're going to put this in the oven. We are going to cook this for about, what did I write down? About 30 minutes or until it's a nice golden brown and a little bit crumbly. Just got on. What is she making? Jennifer, we're making the green bean casserole soup. You can make this in a crock pot, but today we're going to make it on the stove top, which is kind of fun. You could take almost any crock pot recipe and make it on a stove top. So for the original crock pot recipe, I just threw all the vegetables in the crock pot, didn't do anything, or just threw it all in the crock pot and just let it cook for, I don't know, about 4 to 6 hours, and then it was just perfect. It was just creamy. But since we're making it on the stovetop, we're going to saute some things first. So we're just going to take our pot and we're going to saute some celery, some onions, and some garlic in this first. And then we'll weigh everything after. Because then we don't have to be like, how much is that going to shrink? We'll just throw it on a bowl after and then add everything back. So we're going to dice our onion pretty small now. Because this is not a blended soup. This is like a chunky vegetable soup. So we're going to throw our onion in here. And I'm going to make this a dinner soup. You could make this a lunch soup. You could leave it the dinner size portions and then just reduce your fruit. Because you can swap your vegetables. You can swap your fruit and have vegetables, but not the other way around. So then you would just reduce your fruit by 4 ounces, because that's how much. So instead of 12 ounces total of vegetables and fruit for lunch, it would be 14 ounces of vegetables. And then that doesn't make sense. Okay, whatever I just said, just ignore all that. But you could do that. No, you couldn't. Okay, so this is going to be dinner. Anyways. I was going to make this for lunch, but that doesn't make sense. You could reduce the vegetables. That's what I'm saying. You could reduce the vegetables in this recipe and make it for lunch if you want to. It's not too picky on, if I only do 6 ounces vegetables. It will be a little bit watery, but it'll be okay. Gail. Greetings, Natalie. I love your cooking videos. Oh, thank you, Gail. So glad you're here. Amy, are you going to make the apple waffles? Yes, we're going to make that next. So now I'm going to take some celery. Now, what's cool with celery is you can actually eat the leafy greens on top. There's nothing wrong with that. Just this one's a little bit brown. So I'm going to chop that into our saute mixture also, because it kind of gives it a little bit of that parsley taste, which is kind of fun. We want to dice our celery pretty small. Okay, so there we go. We have our celery nice and diced, so we're going to throw this in our pot also. So I'm going to start sauteing this just a little bit. I'm actually just going to spray it with a little olive oil just so it doesn't burn to my bottom of my pan. And then I'm going to turn it to about high heat until everything starts to sizzle nicely. Just kind of mix the oil in with everything. While that's cooking or starting to heat up, now we're going to do our garlic. I'm going to span on so my eyes don't burn from the onions. Okay, so we're going to do our garlic. I'm going to do about 4 cloves garlic, and they're a little bit bigger, but that's okay, because can you ever have too much garlic? Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing. Alright, so we're going to peel these, and then we're going to dice these nice and small and just throw it in our pot. I know there's probably a better way to peel these, and there's probably like tools you can use, but who wants to get one more thing? Do you need to tilt your camera down a little? Can't see your cutting board. Here, I will help you out. Thank you, Mother. Ha! Now you can see the cutting board. Because My camera already fell over one time before I started. I'm like, oh no! So I don't want to touch it, just in case. Because if it fell over, that would be bad. You would go for a wild ride. But I can move this. Alright, so one more clove. You could use less cloves of garlic, more cloves of garlic, whichever one you want to do. If you like garlic, do like 5 cloves. Okay. Little paper thing. We're just going to dice these nice and small. Because we don't want to be get a huge hunk of garlic. It would probably be yummy, but we don't want that in our soup. We want nice small pieces. So this hasn't started sizzling yet, but that's okay. We're just going to add our garlic right away. Now while that's starting to simmer, or starting to get sauteed a little bit, I'm going to turn up to high. We're going to get this going. While that's getting hot, I'm going to grab a bowl, and then we're going to put the rest of our ingredients just in this bowl so it's ready to just pour in when this gets nice and sauteed a little bit. So let me grab a big bowl. It's better to grab a bigger bowl than you think than be like halfway through and be like, oh no, this does not fit in one bowl. So I grabbed a really big one. All right. Uh-oh. My computer just shut off. Maybe the screen just went off. Uh-oh. Okay. We'll get everyone back on here. There we go. I think the screen just timed out. Oops. Anyways, back to cooking. So while that's starting to simmer, now we're going to start with the rest of our stuff. So we're going to do, since we have half an ounce of onion, because it will shrink in our mixture, we're going to, in our falafel mixture, since that's going to shrink to about half an ounce, that's just kind of what I'm considering it. Then I'm going to do, since this is a dinner recipe, I'm going to do 13 and a half ounces total of our saute mixture, and then just some frozen green beans. Now these will shrink when they're cooking, so we're going to add just a little bit more. Amy, I love watching you cook. Aw, Amy, it's so fun having you in my kitchen. So fun. I can never get these bags open. It says it has an easy tear thing, but it lies. I can never get the easy tear. So we're going to do, well, we're going to measure this when it's done. Get back in there. Ooh, it smells so good already. Celery in like a soup recipe just, I don't know, it just gives it this, just such good flavor adding the celery to it. So maybe we'll wait until, we won't put our green beans in here yet because we want to get that in there also. So we'll start with our chicken broth. I just get organic, and I try to get it low sodium just because it has less in it. So we are going to do 8 ounces chicken broth, because that is a condiment you can add free. Now, there are different kinds of broth. There's like there's bone broth, there's all these other kinds of things, and those count as different things. But I know this one is, so a serving is 5 calories, so that counts as like a condiment, just topping, nothing. But other broths, you can look up on the support page what those count as. I'm not exactly sure. I know vegetable and chicken broth, just chicken broth, this is fat-free. So those count as just like a topping, a condiment, just kind of free. Up to 8 ounces. All right, so now we're going to add our seasonings. So we're going to add a teaspoon of each of the seasonings that we put in our falafel mixture, but into our soup. So we'll start off with our basil, add a teaspoon of that, which is just like a big pinch. Stir this a little so it doesn't burn. I'm going to turn the heat down because it's starting to get nice and sizzly. We want it sauteed and not charcoal. That's usually a good goal when you're cooking, not to eat charcoal. Then we're going to do a teaspoon of parsley, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, then we're going to do what's next. So rosemary, I'm out of rosemary. Would the measurement of the broth be different if you used 1 cup? It probably wouldn't, because 8 ounces of liquid is 1 cup. That's just kind of when I'm thinking of things, because it says for a serving size on here is 1 cup, which is 8 ounces. So that kind of helps me with like rule of thumb when I'm looking at packaged things. And I'm like, oh, how much do I need of this? 8 ounces is generally 1 cup. Now dry things, I have no clue, but liquid things, so you could do 1 cup of broth and just stick with that. So then we're going to do some salt. And this, when I made this before, I did not do enough salt, so I added more salt on top. So this time, I'm going to make sure I get enough salt. And then pepper, just a little bit of pepper. And since I don't have any rosemary, I'm going to use some thyme seasoning. But I don't think I'm going to do a whole teaspoon. I think that'll be a little bit too strong. We'll do just a pinch or so. Maybe about a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. Because we don't want it to overpower the soup. Okay, then we're going to add our coconut milk. Now this is light coconut milk. It doesn't say light coconut milk, but 1 is volume and 1 is mass. Janice, that's what Janice said. 1 is volume and 1 is mass. It's a good rule of thumb. Amy, who is speaking today at the Bible study? I'm not sure. It'll either be Kelly or John, so it'll be a toss-up, whichever one. So this is light coconut milk. It doesn't say light coconut milk, but when I got this other canned coconut milk from the store, it was double the calories of this one. So this one is a light coconut milk. And it is double the calories of carton coconut milk. I Googled it because I'm like, is this really light coconut milk or is this, what is this? So this is a light coconut milk if you get this at the store. I didn't shake it before I opened it, so I'm just going to stir it a little bit. And it doesn't separate like my other coconut milk did, where there would be like a hunk of coconut on the bottom. This one doesn't. So for light coconut milk, you can do 4 ounces as a fat. Or if you don't like coconut milk, which it doesn't really have like a strong coconut flavor, it's just very creamy, you could do like half and half and do 2 ounces half and half cream. But for this, I'm going to do coconut milk, and I'm going to do 4 ounces. Zero the scale before we add things. So we're going to do 4 ounces of this. That is a full fat serving. 2. I found out the hard way that canned coconut milk is different than carton coconut milk. I found that out after I had used the canned coconut milk, and it was a full fat, and I'm like, oh wow, this is really good in like a breakfast thing. And then I found out, oops, it's only a fat, the canned stuff. Which brand of coconut milk is it? This is, I got it just on Amazon. Azul coconut milk. I'll show you up close. This is the one I got. Otherwise, the regular one I get, do I have one up here? I don't have one here. But that one I just got at Walmart, and it was in like the Asian section where they have like all like the soy sauce and all that kind of stuff at Walmart. And that's the canned coconut milk that I got before. And I really liked it. It was nice. For full fat coconut milk, 2 ounces is a full fat. All right, so our vegetables are nice and sauteed. My garlic got a little bit extra brown. That's okay. It'll still taste good. So now I'm going to zero the scale, and we're going to see how much this weighs. I'm just going to throw this right in. So that came out to 2.8 ounces. So 14, 13, 12, 2.9. So our green beans are going to shrink. So let's just count this as 2 ounces. And the 0.9 will be for our shrinking of our vegetables as the other stuff. So we have 2.5, counting our onion in the oven. So 2.5. So we would do 14, 13, 12, 11.5 ounces green beans. That was some math right there, right on the spot. Janice, finally I made it today. Yay! Welcome, Janice. So glad you could make it. All right, so we're going to do 11.5 ounces of green beans. These are just frozen green beans from Walmart. As you can tell, that's where I get most of my stuff. So 11.5 ounces. 8, 9, 10, 11.5. Perfect. Almost a whole bag. This is a 12-ounce bag. Usually when it says the weight on the outside, they usually take in consideration like the whole bag. So it's kind of hard to just go off of, oh, well, the can says it's that much, but it's counting the can. Sometimes not, which can be very confusing. Okay, so we got everything. So we're going to pour all of this into our pot, and we're going to bring it to a boil. So I'm going to turn it back to high. One thing I do like about the coconut milk instead of like milk or cream is it can't really curdle because it's coconut, which is kind of nice, especially if you're like cooking in a crock pot. But I haven't really had cream curdle and get bad on me, so in crock pots and things like that. So now we're going to add, to finish off our protein, I just have some baked chicken that I put in the freezer. I'm going to close this because I'm getting weird lighting. There we go. This is just some cooked chicken. I baked it and I put it in the freezer because I had leftovers. So we're going to do 2 ounces of cooked chicken to finish off our protein. Now, if you don't like chicken, you could skip the chicken. You could use something else. Still getting weird lighting. The sun is coming right in my window. Okay, so we want 2 ounces. Perfect. We're going to throw that right into our pot also. And we're going to let that get nice and simmered, nice and cooked. And while that's going, let's check on our chickpea. Ooh, it's getting nice and golden brown in places, which is perfect because I think 12 minutes will be just perfect so it's nice and golden brown. We don't want it burnt. We want it just nice and toasted. So I'm going to stir this chicken into here. And we're going to bring this to a boil. Then we're going to simmer about 10, 15 minutes or so, just until our vegetables are nice and tender. Now, while that's cooking, we can go and make our waffles. It's kind of nice to cook kind of all at once, because then you could be like, well, while that's cooking, I'll cook this, and while that's cooking, I'll cook this, that kind of thing. So I'm going to move this over. We're done with that. Just move a couple things so we have more space to make our waffles. Okay, and I told you guys that when I got this waffle maker, I was going to show you how it works. So this is my new waffle maker I got. I got it right on Amazon. It was on the recipe page, and I think I shared it on my weight loss page also. It's kind of fun. It's a little bit smaller than I thought it was going to be, but it fits one waffle, like one whole batter, one waffle recipe in it. Sweetie, hi Natalie. So glad to be joining you in the kitchen. So glad you're here today. So this is it, and it makes little heart ones. Let's wait till the camera focuses. And it makes one waffle recipe perfect. And I like this. I spent like the couple extra dollars because there was another one that was like $5 cheaper, but it didn't have the adjustable heat. And I like, when I make waffles, I like to turn it on like the highest because I have a Belgian waffle maker, and that has the adjustable heat also, and I really like that because I always leave it on high. So we're going to plug this in. This is the nice thing about like making waffles in the morning is I plug this in, then I make my batter. By the time I'm done making all my batter and stuff, that's nice and hot. Put that in there. By the time I'm done making my coffee, making all my other stuff to go on top, then my waffles are done. It's kind of nice. So we are going to make apple pie waffles. They're so fun and they're so yummy. So we're going to start off with 2 ounces banana. Now you could make this as a pancake also if you don't have a waffle maker, but I like it as waffles. So we're going to start out with 2 ounces banana. 2 ounces. I kind of like to read the recipe before I just kind of throw everything in and be like, oops, which I've done that before. Okay, 2 ounces. Then we're going to mash our banana. Check on our soup. It's not boiling yet. Get everything nice and smooshed. This is what a mashed banana should look like. Nice and smooshed, no big chunks. Annette, I'm getting Chloe a little mini waffle maker with a ginger man imprint on it for Christmas from Target. Oh, that is so adorable. And you know, she's going to probably make you guys gingerbread waffles also. That is so fun. Little baking queen. Oh, so fun. I just love that. She's going to be so excited. I know, after I found the heart-shaped waffle maker, then I'm like, what other cute shapes can I get made into waffles? Which is kind of fun. Or like pancakes or that kind of thing. It's always so fun. Okay, our soup is boiling, so I'm going to reduce the heat to about a 4. And our timer is on for 8 minutes, which then we will check for our falafel mixture. Then we'll check on our soup and see if that has to cook a little longer. It might not. It might. We'll check it after that. Okay, so back to our waffles. So now we're going to add 1 ounce of oats. These are just regular rolled oats. You could use other kind of oats, quick oats, steel cut oats. Now the texture will be a little bit different using different kinds of oats. Like the quick oats, the texture will be a little bit softer because they cook quicker. Where the steel cut oats, the texture will be a little bit tougher and a little bit like stiffer because those take longer to cook. But I mean, it's all going to make the same thing. So then we are going to add our seasonings. We're going to add some salt. Always, when you're working with fruit, always add a pinch of salt. I even add a pinch of salt to my parfaits because it just brings out the sweetness of the fruit. Then we're going to add a pinch of cinnamon. Let me grab some cinnamon. Now, depending on how much you like cinnamon, I really like cinnamon, so we're going to add a pretty big pinch. I would say it's about a 1/4 teaspoon. Then we're going to add a pinch of nutmeg. I just got the nutmeg. Where did it go? This is the thing when you have too many spices, then you can't find one. Here we go. Nutmeg. You don't want to find out the hard way that you didn't read your spice close enough and then you accidentally put like cumin or something in there. That would be nasty. I really like nutmeg, so I'm going to do a little bit more. Sweetie, just a quick question. Approximately how much of the chickpea water would you say you used to grind them? Mine took so long to grind into the Cuisinart. Usually, so I'll take like a can of chickpeas and then I'll just open the top just a little bit and then I'll drain it out. And then I don't like make sure it's all out, mostly, where it's like maybe just a drizzle, and then I'm like, it's good enough. Then I'll rip the top off and just pour that all in my container, and then I'll take my immersion blender, and then I'll just blend it up. So you could rinse your chickpeas, but I kind of, like you said, I like to leave a little bit of the chickpea water, the chickpea liquid. You could save some of it. Ooh, this is really starting to boil. You could save some of that chickpea liquid, and then as you're grinding it, you could add, like, just kind of spoon, like a tablespoon or so in as you're grinding it until you get the nice mixture. I've done that before, too, and that works really nice. Then we're going to add a pinch of instant coffee. I'm going to add 2 pinches because I really like instant coffee. Janice, oops, sport, didn't mean to send a request. Not a problem. I don't think I even saw anything, so I'll forgive you this time, Janice. No, I'm just kidding. Then we're going to do a pinch of maple extract. I had one person say, how do you do a pinch of maple extract? And I'm like, well, I just didn't want to put a whole nother category in my book in the ingredients that says a splash of maple extract. So I just added to the pinch section where it's just a dash, a pinch, a splash of here and there. Because to me it's just easier because it's just in that ingredient list then. So when I say a pinch, I just mean you just pour a little in. You could measure it. I think Kathy looked up, and they actually make like measuring spoons that say pinch, dash, splash. And I think a pinch was about an 1/8 ounce, or 1/16 ounce, or 16th teaspoon, or an 1/8 teaspoon. I'm not sure. But I thought that was kind of cool. But I just do about a splash. You could do like a 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, depending on how much maple extract you like. I just got mine at Walmart. It's the McCormick brand. I'm not too picky on brands. Just make sure, especially with like with vanilla extract, there's baking vanilla, and that they add sugar to. My sister accidentally got some baking vanilla, and then I'm like, no, Kelly, that has sugar in it. She's like, oh man. She didn't open it, so we could return it. But that's just learn from our mistakes. Alright, then we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, just to give it a little lift. Then we're going to do 1 egg. I always measure my eggs because I get them from a farm and they're always different sizes. So 1 egg should be 2 ounces. Anything under, you're going to want to add a little bit more protein just in case. Someone is calling me. Thank goodness I remembered to put my phone on silent. Nicole, I use 1/8 teaspoon for dash or pinch. That is a good idea, Nicole. I like it. Perfect. Okay, so we added our egg seasonings powder, and now we're going to mix this all up. So this is just like a good, just waffle base. So if you just want to make like a waffle, you could change the seasonings, and then you could use different fruits on top, which is kind of fun. But this is a good just base batter recipe. So we have our oats, our banana, our salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, instant coffee, maple extract, an egg, and a baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon. So now we're going to just lightly spray our waffle maker with oil, just to make sure it doesn't stick. You could chance it and not oil it, but I wouldn't chance it. Nicole, since next Thursday is Thanksgiving, will you skip your wonderful cooking class, or will you do it another day instead? Ooh, that is a good question. So far, I didn't plan on doing it another day. That's a great idea. So far, there just won't be one on Thursday. And maybe we'll skip it this week because, you know, the holidays, they get so busy. But you never know. Okay, I will look at my schedule, and I'll see what's going on. I'm just going to spread this out just a little bit. You don't poke it too much. Your waffles will get angry. But I'll have to see if we could do it another day. I'll have to look at what's going on the holiday week, but that would be so fun just to do it another day. Thank you, Nicole, for that suggestion. All right, so we got our waffle stuff in there. Don't touch the waffle maker. You will make it angry. Now, I'll give you some tips on how to get the perfect waffle to pop out 99% of the time. I can't promise anything. Sometimes the waffles will be persnickety and have a mind of their own. So, the goal is you always heat it before you add your batter. Always heat it. And I always oil it because you never know. Now, egg waffles, when it's just the egg with seasonings, that's not as persnickety with the oiling. I've done that without adding extra oil, but it was just kind of like a little oil from the last time I used it. And that turned out fine. That popped right out. But I can't promise that won't pop out. So don't be like, well, she said you didn't have to oil it for that. You might have to. So then don't touch it. Once you put it in there, don't peek. Don't lift it. Don't press it. Don't do anything. Just let it do its thing. And wait, because you see there's steam coming out, if you can see it. There's steam coming out of the sides. You want to wait till it's done doing that, then wait a little longer. So I would say let it cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we're not going to touch it. We're just going to let it do its thing. Don't, because if you lift it, it's going to separate and just fall apart in your waffles. It'll still taste good, but it'll be a crumbly mess. Then, once it's done, I'm going to give this a nice little stir. Ooh, it smells so good. Oh, I'm getting all these smells. I'm getting that beautiful smelling waffles, getting savory smelling stuff. Not a very good combo, but still delicious. If you are planning on skipping, please do that. Your family would probably appreciate having you to themselves. Aw, Nicole, you are so sweet. Yeah, I'll have to see. So far I'm thinking we're gonna skip it, but if there is a day where I'm like, hey, I got nothing going on, we will see. Alright, let me get our falafel mixture out. It dinged on me. We'll check it. We want to make sure everything's nice and golden brown. Oh, it burnt just a tish, but that's okay, because it's going to be nice and crumbly on top. I'll show you what it looks like. So see, it shrunk just a little bit. It did get burnt just a tish, but not like charcoal. So it'll still be yummy because we want it crumbly on top. So that's what that looks like. And I'll show you what it looks like once it cools. So now we can turn our oven off. Nicole, you already do so much for us. Nicole, you're so sweet. Thank you. I know, I like cooking with you guys, so we'll have to see. But so far, we'll probably skip next week, but we'll see. I'll let you know if there is something that comes up. But yeah, I like our Thursdays together. It's so fun cooking together. I love cooking with you guys. It is the best. So I'm going to take a fork and we're going to poke our vegetables just to kind of see if they're done. We want them nice and tender. And my chicken is kind of in big chunks, so I'm just going to kind of break that up a little. Ooh, it's falling apart beautifully because we want more of a shredded chicken texture. Now, if you don't like chicken, you could do beans in this. Now, beans count differently than meat does. So this is half of our protein in here. So half a protein of beans is 3 ounces, which that is our falafel mixture is our other half of protein. So if you don't want to do chicken, you could do 3 ounces beans instead. Just gonna mix this up. Oh, it smells so good. This is one thing I did miss with the crock pot one instead of doing it on the stovetop is I didn't saute the celery, the garlic, and the onion. I just kind of threw it all in the crock pot. So if you are going to make it in a crock pot, I might saute that first and then add that. Annette, I would love to hear how others plan their lunch or dinner meals for Thanksgiving. You can measure your turkey, but what do you do for the rest? This is my first Blee holiday. Yes, thank you for bringing this up. I was hoping somebody would. Or I was hoping to remember, but then, you know, you end the live and then you're like, oh man, I was going to bring that up. So, for Thanksgiving, I remember we started in October, so that was a month right before Thanksgiving, us girls did. And we were like, what do we do with these? What do we do? So the boys went out to eat, us girls stay home and just kind of made food. So, what we did though, because my sister, she really likes potatoes. So she saved her grain from the morning. Now this isn't like textbook or legal, so I mean do this at your own discretion. But she saved her grain for breakfast and she had it at lunch instead because we had our Thanksgiving meal in the afternoon. So she saved that, or if you're having it later in the day, you could save it to the later in the day. She saved her grain so then she could have some potatoes with her Thanksgiving meal. Now, to me, now that we're in this about 2 years, and this is, what, my third holiday, eating this way, no sugar, no flour, 3 weighed meals, I don't like to do that anymore, because I'm like, potatoes for me aren't like, oh, potatoes. If I would want a potato, I would just have it at breakfast. But if you want to do that, like you're at a Thanksgiving meal, and you want to just kind of include all the food, you could do that, where you save your grain from the breakfast, and just have fruit and protein at breakfast, and then wait. There's some other things. You could do the 1 plate rule. So like if you are going to Thanksgiving dinner or you're providing Thanksgiving dinner, you could do 1 plate of just kind of eyeball it of meat and vegetables and protein, depending on how big your plate is, because you know how much food we get to eat. Lunch is a little bit easier than dinner because it's a little bit less food, but you just kind of make it work for you. You just kind of eyeball it or eat before and then just enjoy, like, bring like a bubbly, which is just the, I'll show, I don't have a bubbly, but it's just a non-sugar, what is it called? Vaporized? No. Carbonated drink, or have a tea, that kind of thing, so you still kind of feel like you're having something, but then you're not eating all the food. It can kind of be hard, especially your first one. And if this is like your first event, you just kind of make it work for you. I'm going to turn this off so we don't burn our soup. There's other things you could do. You could bring your own food, depending on if you're the host of the dinner. Make some sugar-free, flour-free dishes. You could make like a vegetable stuffing. I have that in my volume 1 cookbook in the back. Otherwise, it's in the holiday volume, and it's just all vegetables. So there's no protein. You don't so then you can just have turkey, some vegetables. You could even bring, like if it's a lunchtime thing, bring a pumpkin pie for everybody and have a slice. Do the 1 plate rule and just kind of make it work for you. You can make a sugar-free, flour-free pumpkin pie. I think it's in volume 2 or the holiday volume. And just, if you're going to an event, bring something like that. Then you could be like, oh, well, I'm going to have a piece of pie. Everybody else can have a piece of pie, something like that. You can multiply that recipe, make it a bigger pie, make more than just one. Those are just some things you could do. Otherwise, you could bring your own food to there, or you could just eat before or eat after, which can sometimes be a little hard because for me, then I feel a little bit like left out, depending on where I am. There are some situations where I'm like, oh, they're just having dessert. I don't feel left out. I'll just enjoy, I don't know, a hot coffee or my drink or whatever I'm having. So those are just some tips. What are some of your tips? Let me know if you've been in this longer or if this is your first one, because if you either prepare or you repair, because I've done it where I just come to a situation and then my inner saboteur is a little bit of a party girl. When she's at home, she's fine, she's quiet, but when she gets out, she can be like, this is celebration time, you're never gonna get this again, let's party. So I kind of have to watch that. So you kind of prepare or you repair. So just prepare yourself for the day. Be like, I know what's going to happen. I know there's going to be a lot of food. And then enjoy the people. Enjoy the between the food. Everybody's going to be eating all day, and they're going to be all focused on the food, whatever. But just enjoy the day. Enjoy the people. Enjoy being with family. Remind yourself how blessed and how thankful you really are of all the things you do get to have. Don't be like, oh, looking at all their stuff, be like, I don't get to have that, I don't get to have that. Make it, I get to have this. This is what I do get to eat, and I still get to lose weight. So, and if you mess up, you have the day after Thanksgiving. You just get back up. If you don't quit, no matter how many times you fall down or fail, if you don't quit and just keep going, you're going to win every time. We've all messed up. Nobody's perfect. So you just keep going. So those are just some of my little tips. But yeah, if you're hosting an event, make something. If you're going to an event, make something. It's so fun. Get Chloe to make a bunch of pies. She would love that. Okay, so I think our waffle is getting done. I have a plate here. All right, so now we're going to make our toppings for this. Or sometimes this makes me feel better is if I do have like an event coming up, then I'll make myself a little special breakfast or something like, oh, I'll make an apple pie waffle, and then I'll still feel like, oh, I had something special that day. Not that we celebrate with food. It's just another day, and it's just food. We've all had these foods before, but you just have fun. Annette, thanks so much. Lois, love your positivity. Aw. Rachel Warner, portion control for sure. Amen, sister. Because that inner party girl can sometimes go, woohoo, this is Thanksgiving, let's party. Don't think about that. Okay, so another tip for waffles. We'll get back to our cooking. Another tip for waffles is when you do open it slowly. And then make sure nothing on the top is stuck. Rachel, also, I don't eat high-carb foods, no oats or fruits other than berries. That is sad. It's probably keto. I did keto before I found Blee, and yeah, you only get like a quarter cup of berries. You don't get like carrots. You don't get peas. You don't get oats. But you can have like almond flour and all that stuff. I was still addicted to the food. That's one thing. I still was using like xylitol and all that stuff. I like my fruit. All right, so we're going to open this slowly. Aha, nothing's sticking. I cooked it a little longer because we got to talking, but that is okay. It depends if you want a nice crispy waffle. So here's our waffle. It doesn't fall apart. It's still soft, so it's not like totally burnt. This is what our waffle looks like. I really like this waffle maker. It makes it really nice. I just got it off of Amazon. It's the Euro Cuisine waffle maker. I don't know. I got it off of Amazon. It was really nice. So here's our waffle. So now this is where we make it the apple pie, because we're going to add appley stuff on top. So I'm going to turn my scale on. Now, so the apple jam recipe in volume 3, I think it's in the holiday volume. I think it's also in volume 7 because those recipes use the apple jam recipe. Rachel, I know I want to talk with you. Yes, Rachel. Okay, go to brightlineeating.com. Take the susceptibility scale test. It's really awesome. It kind of shows you where you are addicted to food, and whoo, it did some soul searching after that. Everybody's different. I think my mom and sister scored a 10. I took it like a couple times because I've been overweight like my whole life, so I didn't know how like skinny people ate. So I kind of scored a 7. The next time I kind of scored an 8. So I'm a little bit there. I'm a little bit, but still, I mean, food. I was a bread person. I could just eat crust all day, and that was my favorite. But after this, it gets rid of the cravings, and you get to have fruit and all the yummy stuff. What am I looking for? I need a spoon. So we did 2 ounces banana in our waffle. So now we're going to, this is apple jam, but I made it in a crock pot. It was so easy. You just dice your apples. I made them into pretty big chunks because they just kind of like smoosh. And then I added a bunch of seasonings. This recipe will be coming out soon. So I did about 6 pounds of apples, which was 2 big bags. Then I did 2 tablespoons maple extract. I did like 2 tablespoons cinnamon, and then I think I even did more. I did some nutmeg. I did a little bit of instant coffee. Excuse me, I think I did a teaspoon of instant coffee. And then it made this beautiful spiced crock-pot apple jam. So you could take the apple jam recipe and just add some spices to it. You could do this on the stovetop too and just add the spices to it. But this, I made a bunch and then I stuck it in my fridge. I put some in the freezer. It smells so amazing. It's easy to make things. Okay, so we have 2 ounces banana. So now we're going to add 4 ounces of this apple jam on top. You could do the regular apple jam and then just add some cinnamon and maple extract and some salt and a little bit of nutmeg to make it, or apple pie spice. You could do that. So you want just 4 ounces. Oh, no, it's 3.9. Okay, then we're going to just kind of spread it out just a little bit. Yeah, it was so easy to make this in the crock pot. All right, so we have 4 ounces apple jam. So now we're going to add, because we only have half of our protein in this with 1 egg. So for the other half of protein, I'm going to do, of course, Greek yogurt. My favorite is the Aldi's brand, Friendly Farms whole milk. So creamy, doesn't have that weird twang. And this is my favorite thing to get yogurt out with. It's a cookie scoop. You guys told me what it was because I'm like, it's a scooper thingy that everybody has in their house and nobody knows what to use it for. I never knew this was a cookie scoop. But it does a perfect 1 ounce Greek yogurt in like each scoop, which is really nice. My computer just turned off again. Okay, so we're going to do 2 ounces plain Greek yogurt right on top. Ha! 1 ounce exactly. It is so satisfying. So now we're going to do 1 more scoop to do 2 ounces. 1.9. Oops, just a tish bit more. Perfect, 2 ounces. Set that to the side. Then we're going to drizzle a ½ ounce of peanut butter, which is 1/4 of our protein, on top. I just get the creamy peanut butter from Walmart. It's very drizzly. I really like it because the oil does separate a little bit, which is nice because then you kind of mix it. Do you peel your apples when making apple jam? I don't, because nutritionally, they say the nutrition is in the peelings, and to me, it breaks down enough that it gives it a little bit of texture to the apple jam, and I like that. So if you want it, if you wanted a little bit of a smoother texture, you could dice your apples smaller, especially just the peelings of the apples, because they do break up very nicely. Amy, why do you like Greek yogurt so much? Because it's amazing, and it's creamy, and it's delicious, and it's my favorite. You could use it for sweet, you can use it for savory. I put this like on top of my tacos, or like taco salad, that kind of stuff. So if you store this peanut butter upside down, it stays drizzly. Like, look at that. Look at that beautiful drizzle. Perfect. Turned in late. What are you making? Maureen! Hello, Maureen. We are making apple pie waffles, and we made a green bean casserole soup. All right, so we're going to do 1/2 ounce of peanut butter, which is 1/4 of our protein. So we're just going to drizzle that on top. If you saw the picture I posted of this, it was gorgeous. Sometimes the picture is just worth 1,000 words. Now, you could heat your apple jam up if you want it more of a warm apple pie. I kind of like the contrast of the warm waffle with the cold Greek yogurt and the cold apple jam, but it's up to you. You could heat it up before you put it on. Now, this is going to go in my fridge for overnight. I'm going to have this for breakfast tomorrow, so everything will be cold, and the center might be a little soggy from the apple jam, but it'll still be yummy. All right, so we have 1/2 ounce of peanut butter and here, and then we always want just another sprinkle of either cinnamon or nutmeg. I'm going to do a sprinkle of nutmeg just on top for the piece de resistance. And here is our beautiful apple pie waffle. Isn't that just delicious? Smells so good. All right, so now let's finish off our soup. Oh, our time is coming to an end. All right, so let me grab a big bowl because this is a big soup. I didn't think of grabbing a bowl earlier. And we don't need our scale anymore because everything's already weighed. So we're just going to move everything over. Here's our yummy soup. Everything's nice and cooked through. I'll show you our nice soup. Isn't that beautiful? Smells so good. And then the coconut milk just adds just the right amount of creaminess to it. Okay, so we're just going to spread this out. And you get a lot of soup for dinner. A couple people have said to me, and I think this is mind games because I did the same thing, that they're like, oh, I don't really like soups because I feel hungry after. But if you really think about it, this is the same food you would eat without the broth. And like you get this much amount of vegetables, blah, blah, blah. And then you're adding broth on top. So really, this shouldn't make you hungrier than a non-soup. Sometimes it can just be mind games telling you, and it's fake hunger. So now we're going to take, nice and cool. So now we're going to take our falafel mixture, and it's nice and crispy, and we're just going to crumble it on top like you would those crispy fried onions. It's going to be so good. So just kind of crumple it, or you could have it whole, you could have it on the side. Oh, this cooked perfectly. I don't think I burnt it at all. I kind of like a little bit of the crunchy. Just break up the big pieces into smaller ones. All right, here is our green bean casserole soup. I don't want to spill on my laptop. That would be bad. Here it is. Doesn't that just look amazing with the crispy falafel stuff on top? It looks like green bean casserole. Exactly. You could bring this to Thanksgiving and nobody would know the difference. Be like, yeah, that's crispy fried onions on top. Don't tell them till after they taste it. Then tell them, be like, ha, that's beans. beans on onions, blended up together with spices. Then tell them that and see what they think about that. Or bring a cheesecake and tell them this is banana egg bake on top of beans. And see if they know if it's even not a cheesecake. That would be hilarious. That would be really fun. I did that one time to a church event. I had made a big, what did I make? I think I made the peanut butter, or the pumpkin patches. And I didn't tell anybody that this was sugar or flour free. And one man, I'm like, oh, so what do you think? He's like, these are good. What are these? Then I told him, it's bananas and pumpkin. He's like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah, it is. Isn't that fun? Lois, I made veggie soup with leftover veggie broth and garbanzo beans topped with cheese today for lunch. That sounds amazing. Oh, that is so good. Which is pretty much the same thing as this. We just blended our beans and cooked them separately and then crumpled them on top. So these are the recipes for today. So we won't be having Thursdays live this next week because it is Thanksgiving, and I want you guys to be with your families and have fun and enjoy the day. Just enjoy the journey. It's just food. I have to remind myself a lot that this is just food. It's not, it has no lasting satisfaction. My mom, when we first started, she said the most wisest things to me ever, and like it just blew my mind. It was amazing. Because we were like, oh, wouldn't it just be nice to have just XYZ, whatever that junk food was. And my mom's like, you know what? How long is that satisfaction of that one bite or that one piece of food really going to last? 3 minutes? 5 minutes? Then you're just going to want more. It doesn't satisfy. It just awakes that craving monster, and then you just want more, and you're never satisfied. I'm like, that is so true. So just remind yourself that that is just a piece of food that has no eternal value to it. It has no hold over you. It's just a piece of food. It's all in here. And you're only one thought away from a good day. So just change your thought to, oh, this is a good day. I saw another thing. It was amazing. And it said, some people look at the cup half empty. Some people look at the cup half full. But we all forget that that cup is refillable. So just fill your cup up with family, with time together. I know this is going to be a really different holiday for a lot of us with family and all this stuff going on in the world. But just remind yourself that, especially with our grandparents and our elderly with us, that this might be the last holiday with them. So spend that time together. Make that sacrifice to go see them. It's really sad because my grandma is in the nursing home. She is like 96 or something, and I can't go see her, and that's really hard. But my mom calls her on the phone every Monday, so we do get to keep in touch, but it's really hard not being able to see our loved ones like that. So just remember, take these times together and really cherish them, because you never know what's the next thing that's going to happen on what's going on in the world today. Lois, a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Yes, happy Thanksgiving week. Annette, thanks so much for sharing with us. Enjoy your Thanksgiving with your beautiful family, and say hi from my family. Same to you, Annette. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Make Chloe make you some yummy things, or don't make her. She'll probably love to do it. That is so fun. Janice, thank you. Enjoy your holiday. Thank you. Brenda, thank you, Natalie, and have a great Thanksgiving. You too. Amy, happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you at Thanksgiving. So fun, everyone. Oh, I love you guys. Thanks for cooking. Make some soup. Make it for Thanksgiving. Don't tell anybody there's no sugar or flour in it. It would be really fun. Just do it. And then make them all some waffles. So fun. All right. Well, thanks for cooking with me. You all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I won't see you next week, but I'll see you the week after that. And if something does come up where there is just a random time, maybe we'll just do like a quick, just 5 minute, just something. We'll have to see. I'll let you all know. Maureen, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Mary, happy Thanksgiving from all of us in Canada. Yes, happy Thanksgiving all the way in Canada. I love you guys. Sweetie, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I hope you all have a very happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Have good travels if you're traveling. If you're hosting the event, I pray that you have a blessed event and that you just have a wonderful time. Enjoy the family, enjoy the company, enjoy the moment right now. Be in the present moment. It can be so easy to be thinking about, oh, what's coming up in the next 5 minutes. Just be in the moment right now. Just enjoy the people right in front of you. That's the most important thing at that moment right now. I have to remind myself a lot because I'm a goal-oriented person where I like to get things done and see things in the future, and I'm going to get that done and get that goal. But just enjoy the process. Take a deep breath. It's just food. It's just food. It's a holiday. Enjoy the family. And you can enjoy the food too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being in the kitchen all day and then enjoying the food. If we're going to be in the kitchen 3 times a day, might as well be fun, and it might as well taste good. So that's my 2 cents for the holidays. Oh, thank you for watching. And Kathy, if your daughter had the baby yet, I'm so excited. Send us pictures, post pictures. I know you will, because you're a grandma. What grandma doesn't post pictures of brand new babies? So exciting. Oh, we're with you in all of this. Becky, thanks. Thank you, Becky, for joining. Thank you all for watching. If it wasn't for you, I mean, these live videos would be pointless. So fun to have you in my kitchen. I could just be here with you all day and chat all day. It's so fun. All right, love you guys. Thank you for joining me. You all have a fabulous Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, love you. Keep posting. Post your recipes that you make. I'll post my recipes that I make. We'll just be all posting together. It's so fun to see you all on the recipe page with your yummy creations on Instagram, on all the pages. It is so fun. I love seeing you guys cook and all your creativity. And Chloe, too. Keep up the good baking, Chloe. You are on fire, and you are an inspiration to all of us. Because if she can do it, and she's doing it on her own free will, like as a child, we can all do it. So we've got this. You've got this. We're all in this together. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you guys. With joy, Natalie.